Hey, what's going on, guys? So welcome back to another episode. In today's video, we're gonna be installing a glass shower door. Um, Never done one of these, so if you want to see how it's done and what not to do when installing one of these, if you're a first timer like me, then stick around to the end of the video. Wish me luck. Let's get into it. So first things first, you gotta have a level. And my door, it's got this rail at one end, which this piece is going into. So the stationary glass, if you want to call it that, it's going into this rail. So there's 3 holes that I need to drill. So I already measured it with the level and marked it where I'm gonna be drilling the tile. So I really hope that I don't crack any of these tiles. I'm gonna be using these Ryobi masonry, or what is it, glass and tile bit. So yeah, I got 2 sets because I've actually used this style drill bits before, and yeah, pretty much you drill 2-3 holes and they're done. A friend of mine actually recommended I use something else. I'm probably gonna put a link in the description below. He said that's what he used, and he actually installed a few glass doors. Um, and the bits that he showed me that he's using, they don't actually look like bits, and you put it on an angle grinder, and that thing, it's some type of diamond whatever cut, and it like almost melts the tile is what he's telling me. But yeah, I'm gonna try and go ahead and use these. I don't feel like ordering the other stuff and waiting a week to get them, so we're gonna try to knock this thing out today. So let me go ahead and drill these holes and see what happens. And yeah, fingers crossed that I don't crack the tile. So let's see. Okay, guys. So yeah, an hour later, and a mind-numbingly slow process of drilling, we finally got the 3 holes for the channel, which is gonna be holding the stationary piece of glass. And what I ended up doing is I was looking at the instructions, and I went by that, and it was saying use an anchor if there is no stud in the wall. But it didn't say anything about drilling different sizes, and I didn't think about it either. So it was telling the instructions to drill a 5/16, I believe what it was. Yeah, it's 5/16. So I went ahead and drilled the 5/16, but I do know that there are studs back here. So what I decided to actually do is I am going to put the anchor that they provided in the kit in this middle hole, and the other two, the top and bottom, I'm not going to use the anchors, and I cannot use their screws because they're too short. So these are the screws that came in the kit, and they're just way too short. I mean, they're not going to hold anything. So you have to use these with an anchor basically, because I do have like a 1/2 inch tile, and then I have a 1/2 inch cement board behind it. So what I end up doing is I drill the top and bottom hole with a 1/4 inch bit, and I'm going to use these, or what, like a 2.5, 2 1/4, or maybe even 2 inch. I haven't measured it, but it's about 2 inch long cement screws. So with the 1/2 inch, I got plenty of room, so it's not going to be cutting into the tile or the cement board. So it's just going to go through, and I'm going to screw these into the stud in the wall. Uh, and I decided to go with these because simply I had some, and also they're already coated, so they're not going to corrode. Another thing I'm going to do is, I know it's a little bit of overkill and it doesn't say that in the instructions, but I went ahead and got the clear silicone that I'm going to be sealing the door with, or the glass channel and all that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill the hole. I'm going to put some silicone in the hole before I put the anchor, and then I'm also going to do the same thing with the other 2 holes. I'm going to put a bunch of silicone in the holes, and then install the channel and screw everything to the studs. And the idea for that is that I'm going to stop any moisture over time to get into the studs, and start actually rotting out my studs. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing done, and then I'm gonna resume the video once I got all this put in place, because then the next step is calling for putting the bar, assembling the bar, hooking it up to the stationary glass when it's in place, and then you can outline where the bar is going to sit, and then we're gonna have to go and drill in two more holes for the bar, which the sliding door is going to hang on to. Yeah, so like I said, this was an hour of drilling to get these three holes. And yeah, these are the bits. I use the Ryobi because I'm cheap. So yeah, if you go too fast, they are basically trash. If you go too slow, then nothing happens. You gotta go like medium speed. So I use the cordless Craftsman. I have it in the low speed, and I still had to go like half the trigger, about like maybe 2/3 to about half a trigger squeeze to get it like right about this speed is what worked best. And it's still, you can see the tip is still trying to starting to turn blue, so it was still heating up. I had to stop, pause, take a break. But yeah guys, it's not fun. I hate drilling tile. I did that once before at my parents' house, trying to install one of these guys right here. And yeah, it's a slow process. I mean, it's really slow. So maybe I should have listened to my friend and used the bits that he swears by them at some diamond tip or whatever. I am gonna get the exact model, whatever that he uses, and probably put it in the description down below. I haven't personally used them, but he swears by them, and he does this for a living. So he installs like vanities, shower doors, and tile and everything. So he knows what he's talking about. But let me get back into it. Enough rambling. So let's get this thing into place and get it done, hopefully tonight. Okay, so we finally got the channel installed, all screwed in with the silicone and the screw holes. So everything's secure. We got the stationary glass in place. We got this bracket and guide for the sliding door in place, but it's basically right now you don't screw that in until you do the final adjustment. That's why they want you to assemble this bar, hook it up to the glass, which is kind of a pain if you're doing it by yourself, because you have to hold the bar, you have to hold these two pieces that go through the bar, and then there's like these Teflon washers, and you gotta hold that and then come on this side and put this other piece, which is the screw, with other Teflon washers, and make sure nothing falls out of place while you're trying to do that and balance it, and then the other side it doesn't fall out. So finally got everything in place. So level it. These actually have a little bit of room where you can play with it. I got them kind of tight now, but you can unscrew it, and there's a little bit of play inside the cutouts that go through the glass, where you have these little Teflon bushings inside. They give you a little bit of play, so you can adjust and give it a little bit of an angle if you want on the bar. And that's what I went maybe like 1 degree or so. So it's like barely actually tilted this way, so the door would stay closed when it slides. I don't think it's gonna make really any difference, but anyway. And then everything's secured, and now I have outlined these mounting pieces here, and I'm gonna have to remove now the bar, and then do the center, drill out the center on these markings for the final mounting places for the bar. And then these bushings were actually inside. This is what the screw is gonna go through. So these are gonna be inside this piece, and there's like a little Allen key that goes right here in the notch, and it holds this piece in place. I ran into a problem that basically I had to remove them and slide these guys further in, because the bar is a little too long. My distance between the wall is actually a little shorter than this bar, so I'm gonna have to remove now everything, drill the holes, but I also have to cut maybe about 1 inch from the metal bar itself, and then go ahead and try to refit everything again. So this is where we stand, and I'm gonna have to finish this probably tomorrow, because it's kind of running late. I have to go have dinner with the family and put my daughter to bed. So yeah, continue watching the video. I'm gonna continue this build tomorrow, but the video will continue in a second. Hi, what's up guys? So it's the next day. We're continuing with the shower build on this glass sliding door. Yeah, so I went ahead and had everything marked, and I decided I'm just gonna wing it. I didn't actually measure how much it needed to cut from the bar, and I tell you the truth, I barely, like, I almost screwed it up. I have maybe like half an inch where it's like half an inch still where I'm gonna be able to mount it. And if I cut that half inch extra, or even a quarter inch more than what I did, that bar would have been done. So I would have been pretty much screwed. Yeah, so make sure you do your measurements right, and you don't do this mistake like me and just winging it. So let me show you what I got so far. Okay, so here's the bar. These are the end pieces. Like I said, the bar was too long. Let me come on. Okay, so the distance for the bar between the wall before, it was too long and the bar would not fit. It was like basically right at the end. It was pretty much end to end. But then when you put these mounting pieces, let me show you what I'm talking about. So these mounting pieces, they have this brass piece, which is almost like a half an inch thick. And that's what's going on the wall. And this is where your screw is going to go through this brass piece. And you're supposed to be able to then slide this on the end of the bar. And then you can adjust it like that to where it's flush or tight against the wall. And then you tighten this little Allen screw onto the bar. So you have two of these on each end. And I couldn't have these on and mount the bar between the wall. The distance was too short, so I had to remove the brass pieces. And so now that I had it on there mounted, everything was screwed in, I had the level all done, so I have it outlined on the wall. And then I came back, when I took everything off, I came back, I put the brass piece back in place, and I marked where the center is, and I started up. Or you can just do a cross right in the middle, so you can, that's how you can figure out the center. But I just put the brass piece on there and just marked it with the Sharpie. Another tip, when you start to drill these, if you do buy the set with the set of drill bits for the glass and tile, go ahead and start these out with the smallest size possible. That way you know you're going to be on center. So that's a little tip I found out. It's a little easier. So if you are going with the 5/16 or whatever they say in the instructions, that where you have to put the anchors in, that bit, the front of it is a little too big. So if you don't have a steady hand, you can slip, especially if you have like these type of tiles where they're all slick. I mean, these have like a little bit of a more of like a rougher feel, so if you could say that. And these are like glass type smooth tiles, so it definitely helps to start it out with the smaller bit. I don't know what size I got, but yeah, it's the tiniest one that's in the set. Usually it's like 4 in the set. But yeah, again, going to the mind-numbingly slow process of drilling now the 2 final holes. And there's one that I gotta do on that side, and there's the other one, and we can go ahead and install the bar. So then I'm gonna put the phone on the stand, and you can have a view of the rest of the process and final assembly of these pieces, how everything goes together if you're getting this exact style of door. And you can put it on yourself, and again, you don't make the mistakes that I made. But yeah, let me go ahead and drill these holes out, and we'll continue the video. And if you stuck around this far, I thank you, because this means a lot. By you watching this video and not skipping the ads or skipping forward and watching the whole video, this is the best way to actually support my channel. If you do like my channel, go ahead and subscribe to, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my latest uploads. I do a lot of cars and small engine stuff with zero turns. If you haven't found out that already, but I am gonna start doing around the house DIY fixes and installations and stuff like that. So my channel is gonna be a mishmash of everything. So yeah, if you're a DIY guy and you like doing pretty much everything yourself, like me, then this is the channel for you. So stick around. Thanks again for the support. Let's continue with the video. Guys, so continuing with the next step. Yeah, it's been about a week actually since I started making. I had to abandon the project because I got real sick. But we continue the video, and here's the next step. We left off by drilling the holes up here for the bar, and these are the pieces that are gonna actually the bar is gonna connect to, and what's gonna hold the metal bar or the rail actually that the sliding door is gonna be sitting onto. But at the same time, that bar hooks up to this stationary glass, so it holds that as well. So what I did is I used these 3-inch anchoring screws, and I did mention that the holes are drilled wider than these screws, so the screws don't actually even touch the tile because you don't want to be cracking the tile. And then I did a little bit of overkill again. I just put silicone, filled up the hole with clear silicone, and then even some more around the hole. So when I went ahead and tightened these down, you can see there's the silicone sticking out. So I wanted these to be completely sealed so there's no moisture getting around the screw, getting even to the screw, but getting past the screw and to the studs. And I don't want to have no rot down the road. So I am doing this a little bit of overkill, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. So it's up to you if you want to do the same thing what I did, or you're going to be using the anchors provided. I just feel that this is more secure, and it's just all better fit for how I want it done. But let me go ahead grab the bar, show you the next step. So these are the pieces. So you have these little Allen it's right here, and you see how they stick out on the other end. So obviously this end goes up here, and when you tighten this screw down, it'll go down into this groove, so it'll prevent the bar from coming off. And then you tighten the other end that basically holds this to the bar. So that's going to be the next step, and then we got to put these guys, which are kind of a pain doing it by yourself, because you have to put them from this side, and then you gotta hold the bar, you gotta align it with the second hole, and then you have to put the other pieces from the other side. So I won't put the phone on the stand actually show you, but it's a little bit of a pain trying to do it, make sure nothing drops out, nothing falls out while you're doing that. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, so here's the bar already cut down. So there's the 2 holes for the stationary glass. That's where these pieces, the brackets, are gonna come through. And I also gotta slide these guys on the end. And one side is I don't know if I knew it in the optic, but one side is rounded, the other one is straight. So this edge, the straight edge, actually mounts to the wall, and then the rounded side is facing inward. So I'm just gonna slide these guys on here. And we're not gonna do anything with them right now until we get the other pieces. So this one, like that. And now this is the piece that's going like that from over the hole, from inside like that. And then we got the other side, and you have these nylon bushings. Well, this was like a nylon washer really. So that goes like that on each side of the bar. But then you have this is the screw pretty much that you're going to be tightening from the outside. And this also has the nylon washer and then this nylon bushing that has to go over, because this is the piece that actually is going to sit inside the glass. So you got to put the bar in place, sitting through these holes, managing for these two pieces to not fall out, and then holding the bar with one hand and then come on the outside somehow and actually tighten everything together. So this is the fun part. And at the same time, there's two of these. So if you move this, wiggle it around, chances are one of these is going to fall out. So hopefully I can get it in the first time. But when I was putting this together to mock it up and outline where I'm going to be drilling, it was definitely not fun. And then I found out if I try to screw this one in place, and then I can have the board just kind of hanging. So let's see if I'm going to be able to replicate. Alright. Don't fall out. Now I gotta grab the piece. Ah. I think this one got started. This one's about to fall out. I got it. Okay, let's see. We can get this thing now. Come on. Tighten a little more. You know what? I'm just going to tighten this one. I'm just going to slide the two pieces out from the side, and that'll hold it in place. Alright, that should do it. Okay, let's get this guy. And there's a little hole on these end screw caps, whatever, and you can use the smallest Allen key that comes in the kit, and it goes into the hole, and you can actually tighten that. And I'm just gonna screw the sides, make sure those are tight. Make sure the bottom don't move either, because that's an adjustment as well. I still haven't drilled the holes for the bottom piece. I'm going to show you that next. Well guys, first mistake, I forgot to put the stoppers, and I already put the bar in place and everything tightened out. So now I gotta take everything off again, or hopefully I can disconnect the bar, leave it loose but still connected to the middle right here, and completely take out that assembly, the bolt and everything out, and then I can slide this stopper on this side and then basically pivot the bar and slide this stopper on this side. So let's go ahead and do that. And by the way, the little Allen key that they give me to tighten these guys, yeah, I just broke it in two pieces actually. I broke it first time, and then the second time when it got shorter, I tried to tighten it again, and yeah, so we'll see how I'm gonna loosen them now. Okay. That off. Slide that out. And I just rest up against the ceiling. I'm gonna wipe this so it come off. Okay. Let's get the sliders in place. think these are supposed to be a weight up. Just look at the instructions before I make another mistake and have to take them off again. Okay, so they are facing up. So let's get this guy. Okay, so should be good. We gotta tighten everything back in place. Cool, so I got everything back in place and we got the door stoppers up here which are gonna be adjusted later. So we have this one and that. So now down to the final adjustment of this glass. So stationary, gotta move this a little bit over like that, and now I gotta drill the 1/8, I believe. What did it say? It's 1/8 holes right in here, and then drop the 2 screws. And it actually does call for putting silicone into the holes before you screwing these down. So let me drill that, get that secure, and we'll move on to the next step, which is going to be finally hanging this door. All right, so finally down to the last steps. We're going to be putting the rollers on the glass door, then we're going to be putting the seal strip on the bottom, and then the 2 seal strips between the actual stationary glass, the glass wall, and then the glass door. And I think those have to be trimmed. So let me go ahead and put the rollers. You got to put the top set on first, and then you hang the door on the rail. I'm guessing next step I'm going to adjust the stoppers on each end where I want them to stop the door from hitting the tile or the wall, and then coming back here on this side going too far and hitting this wall or the handles that we're going to be mounting on this glass door. Make sure the handles are not going to be hitting this glass and fracture that. So let's go ahead and do that real quick, and yeah, we're on the final stretch, guys. Also, guys, when you take these rollers out, I just noticed that you can see this part, how it's off-centered. So there's a little slot here when you can stick another piece, like one of the smaller Allen keys. You can rotate this, and by doing that is going to adjust the door. So you can adjust the level by turning each one of these top rollers, and you can adjust the level of the actual door to make sure it's completely level. And there's another slot here, so you can hold this in place while you're only turning this guy to adjust the level on the door. And yeah, I just wanted to mention that. Well, another mistake, I just went in the wrong way. So I thought I was going to be able to turn it around, but apparently you can't. It's not enough room. Now I gotta get it back out. And this sucker's pretty heavy. Uh-oh. I just chipped the bottom. We're dancing with the door. Okay, take 2. Oh, this is not fun, guys. This is not fun. Doing this by yourself. If this was a smaller bathroom, somebody's definitely gonna have a hard time trying to fit this door and getting it to clear. Whew. We're in. Okay. You know, I can just hang this guy. Okay, we're hanging, but I need to lift it so it'll go into the guide on the bottom. I just needed to move these stoppers out of the way. And up we go again. Okay. Ow. I got that on camera. Okay. So there's going to be some trimming to the bottom piece. Right here. I do have to level it a little bit, but I think we're good for the most part. Let me get the bottom rollers now in place. We start fine-tuning this thing. And there you have it, guys. Finally all done. Well, almost done, but I'm gonna go into that in a second. So yeah, the door is hung, it's already leveled. We have the seal strip down here. There's one on the bottom, there's one right here on the outside. You have to trim this because there's another piece since you have the rollers up here, so you need to cut about this much from the original section to trim it, and they give you these little pieces to put to continue the edge with, and you got to do that on both. Also this one you have to trim that because that's not the pretty much all the seal strips you have to trim, but there's the same exact thing you have to do on the door because they both use the same strip right here. So the handle, you have these little Allen keys right here on both sides. You take these out, and then there's another piece that screws from this side to this part of the handle, and then this one just kind of connects to it, and you tighten the two little Allen keys and it'll hold it in place. So yeah, that's that. And the steps that I still haven't completed, let me show you. Where they go? It's one of them is right here, and I'm not gonna use these because to me they just look ugly and it makes no sense. So this is a trim piece that they want you to install. Oops. Like an edge right here. So they want you to install this piece, and I haven't really looked at the instructions in depth, but from what I can figure out, they want you to just use silicone to mount this, and then there's these two little edge pieces that you clip on, and they kind of supposed to fill in the gaps on each side. So yeah, I'm not doing that because like I said, I just don't like this edge. I just rather have it like this, nice and clean. And then the other step is they want you to come inside and drill the stationary bracket, the bracket that we screwed already into the wall. They want you to come in now and drill through the bracket and through the aluminum piece that's holding the stationary glass in 3 different places, and put like 3 screws to hold it. And then you gotta use these little caps, like little chrome caps. To me, that doesn't make any sense to do it right now, since this piece is already screwed to the wall. Then the stationary glass slides into this piece, but then at the same time you have the rail, the metal rail, which goes wall to wall, and you have these fixed points that go through this glass. So this thing is not going to move. There's no way it can go anywhere as long as the rail goes through it and it's connected and it goes from wall to wall. So it doesn't make sense to drill those holes. It's just going to make it look ugly. So I'm going to skip that as well. I'm going to skip the trim, and I'm just going to call it a day. What I'm going to do is come on the inside and just put a bead of silicone and seal. So it's not a fun job. So yeah, prepare to set a day to do it. and it definitely does help to have somebody else and help you move these glass pieces because they are pretty heavy. Unfortunately, I didn't actually have anybody to help me, so yeah, it was not fun, especially when I got the door inside and I was stuck because I went in the wrong way and I couldn't maneuver it. And another thing is what I'm gonna say is a top tip. If you do have a limited space in your bathroom, if it's your bathroom is kind of small, like say your toilet is really close, or you have your vanity or whatever is real close to where the shower is, I'd suggest you put the glass door inside your shower, and actually do your assembly. Put it in before you put this bar in place. So have the door on the other side, and then put your bar and everything, and then you can assemble the rollers on the door and just hang it when it's on the other side. Otherwise, you have to do what I just did earlier. You have to pivot and try to go at an angle and go under the bar and then swing it around. And I'm hitting the toilet, I'm hitting the cabinets behind me, I'm hitting the wall on the other side. So that was kind of dumb. And at the same time, I'm trying not to hit the edges of the door because you can chip the glass. So yeah, a little top tip is probably put the door inside the shower and just have it there and assemble it there when the time comes, and don't have it outside because the bar and everything else is going to be in your way. But other than that, guys, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I guess follow the instructions. I didn't really read them. I like going by going by pictures and kind of figuring stuff out too by myself as I go. So but yeah, if you want to read the instructions, sometimes the instructions are more confusing. Let me say this. So sometimes if you read the instructions, they're a little more confusing than they need to be. So that's why I kind of like going. If there are pictures, I just go by kind of by the pictures, and I go and look at all the tools and the screws and whatever they give me to assemble it, and I just go by that and kind of figure it out for myself. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out when I upload another video. And as always, have a blessed day, stay safe.